Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. First up, we go to the late night game between New Mexico and Utah State. This one, 10:30 Eastern. It's going to be on Fox Sports 1. Now, New Mexico is 19-3 overall this season, 6-3 in the conference, and 2 of those 3 losses in conference play were road games against Fresno State and Nevada. I don't love taking New Mexico when they're playing on the road in the Mountain West, especially against teams that have a really good home court advantage, like teams like Utah State, and just teams that are good in general, like the Aggies are. I mean, Utah State's 17-5 this season, 6-3 in conference play, just like the Lobos. They're 13th in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency and number 1 in the nation in three-point shooting, 40.7% as a team. Really, both of these teams make a lot of tough shots. I mean, New Mexico has plenty of shooters on this team that make really tough mid-range jumpers pretty consistently. Utah State, like I said, really good from the perimeter. So we should expect a pretty high-scoring game, and I think it's going to be a good one to watch, pretty entertaining one. But I do like Utah State at home in this game. I think their defense has overall improved quite a bit as well, especially in conference play where it counts the most. And we saw last time out on the road against Fresno State, not a great team offensively, but still holding that team to 53 points, winning that game by 17 in the end, even when your team shot 33% from 3, a lot less than what we're seeing on average for Utah State. That's pretty promising stuff for me. Give me the Aggies in this one. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we go to the Big Ten as Penn State takes on Purdue. This one's 6:30 Eastern. It's going to be on Big Ten Network. Now, Purdue is your number 1 unanimous team in college hoops in the AP polls this week, and for good reason. Purdue's 21-1 now on an 8-game win streak, all in conference play, winning a lot of those games by double digits, including a win over Penn State by 13 points in a semi-road game back on January 8th. In that game, Penn State's offense, like I said, 76 points. They shot 8 of 18 from 3, 44%. They were 23 of 38 from two-point range, 60.5%. So they really had a great shooting night. They were strong on the offensive glass, limited turnovers as well. And I think we're going to see a similar result in this game. I think Purdue wins this game by double digits and covers the number in the end. Penn State's been struggling a little bit after a 2-1 start in conference play, now back to even at 5-5. 14-7 overall. That's good enough to make the NCAA tournament, that's for sure, if they stay on this pace. But overall, Penn State 361st in the country in offensive rebounding percentage and 363rd in terms of free throws attempted over field goals attempted. A team that does not get to the free throw line, doesn't get those second chance looks. I just don't think we see enough offense in this game from the Nittany Lions. Yes, they're a good shooting team. Yes, they take care of the basketball, but Purdue's defense, one of the best, if not top, 3 in the country right now. It's going to be tough to score against Purdue consistently for 40 minutes. I don't think it's going to be enough to cover this number in the end. So give me Purdue laying the big number at home. I think they get the win and cover. Next up, we go to the SEC as Tennessee takes on Florida. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN2. Now, in this matchup, we see 2 teams ranked inside the top 10 in adjusted defensive efficiency. Tennessee, of course, number 1 in the nation in that statistic, and Florida is number 8. Now, Tennessee's a team I give a lot of credit and a team I would watch out for March Madness, as when you play that well defensively, it really helped your chances in tournament-style games. But when you're playing, these low-scoring games against teams that play a similar style of defense, it's really tough for me to lay a big number, especially on the road in a very tough home court environment for Florida. It's tough for me to want to lay this big number with Tennessee. Florida, like I said, number 8 in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency, 10th in the nation in effective field goal percentage defense. They defend the perimeter well. They defend the paint well. So is there going to be a lot of points scored in this game? I don't think so. And because of that, taking the underdog, getting a pretty good number, makes it a lot more valuable in my eyes. We saw Tennessee in its only conference loss this season. It was a home game against Kentucky, a low-scoring game, 63-56. Now, I do think Kentucky is a better team compared to Florida, but they are similar teams when it comes to they lean on a front court member. Colin Castleton for the Gators, Oscar Tshiebwe for Kentucky, and I do think Kentucky's defense, led them to victory in that game. They kept it low scoring and they found an outright win. I don't think the Gators win this game outright, but I think it's going to be a pretty close one. Usually these teams play in really fun matchups, whether it's at Tennessee or at Florida. I'm going to take the points here with the Florida Gators at home. Wouldn't be completely shocked for an outright upset, but I do think Tennessee wins, Florida covers. Next up, we go to the Big South as Gardner Webb takes on Charleston Southern. This one's 7 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, the only hesitation I would have with this game is the fact that Gardner Webb already beat Charleston Southern, and it was a blowout win, 20-point win, 83-63. It is tough to sweep a season series, especially in these types of mid-major conferences, and especially when the second game is going to be a home game for the team that just got blown out. But I still think Gardner Webb is a team flying under the radar in the Big South. I think this is the best team in the Big South Conference this year, even better than teams like UNC Asheville and Radford. And I think Gardner Webb, one of the big advantages they have in this game is, Charleston Southern has had an efficient offense this year. They're 96th in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency. They scored some points, but a lot of that's been because of their offensive rebounding. They're 27th in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage against a team like Gardner Webb that boxes out really well and gets those defensive rebounds at a great rate. I just don't think you're going to have that much success offensively, and we certainly know this Charleston Southern defense is not really holding up much this year. 357th in adjusted defensive efficiency. They don't force turnovers. They're not good on the defensive glass. They take a lot of fouls as well, and they don't defend the perimeter very well. So the 83 points that Gardner Webb scored in the first meeting between these two, I really wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see him score that many in this game, even on the road. And it's not like Gardner Webb has not played a lot of tough road games this season. Not only do they have wins in true road games against Winthrop, Presbyterian, High Point in the conference, they also have the non-conference road win over Western Carolina. And at the beginning of the season, they played 4 true road games against really tough teams in Colorado State, Stephen F. Austin, North Carolina, and Wofford. And in 3 of those 4 games, they were decided by single digits, including a 6-point loss, only 6 points to North Carolina on the road. I think Gardner Webb is battle-tested. I think they're better on both sides of the ball. They already blew them out one time by 20 points. I don't think it's going to be that ugly in this game, but I think Gardner Webb wins this one and covers the numbers. So give me Gardner Webb here. And the final game we're to talk about for Wednesday's card in college basketball, we got to go to the WAC conference as Stephen F. Austin takes on New Mexico State. This one's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, New Mexico State, I don't even know how this team is 0-9 in conference play. They are a lot better than that record, that's for sure. They suffered a lot of close losses in true road games and home games as well. A 4-point loss to Southern Utah back at the beginning of conference play. They lost by 9 points to Stephen F. Austin the first meeting these teams had. They also lost by only 3 points in true road games against Seattle. 5 points last time out against Utah Valley on the road. So they've played competitive basketball for the most part in the WAC. They just haven't got an outright win. I think they get the outright win in this game. I think their defense is undervalued. Yes, it's ranked 230th in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency, but they can force turnovers pretty solid on the defensive glass, and I do think that the effective field goal percentage numbers that we're seeing opponents shoot at against New Mexico State is going to go down as the season continues. And, the first meeting between these teams, the big issue for New Mexico State was the turnovers. They had 15 turnovers in that game, only compared to only 8 for Stephen F. Austin. But in that one, Anthony Roy, one of the better members of the backcourt for the Aggies, was out for that one. He's one of their best three-point shooters, just shooting under 50% on the season. Having him back in the lineup for the second meeting of this one should be a big boost to this offense. I think the defense is overall, like I said, undervalued. So I'm going to take the New Mexico State Aggies. I think they grabbed their first conference win of the year. Even though I like SFA, and even though they covered for us a few times on the Bank Shot Breakdown, including last time out, I think they lose this one. So give me the Aggies laying the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.